It's 2021, I'm 14 years old, and I'm walking down the hallway in my school. And at this point in my life, I just read a book on how to be more confident and become a better communicator. And so I'm walking down the hallway and I see this girl, which I really liked at the time. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I practice my communication skills and my confidence that I've just learned from this book? And let's try and practice by speaking to this girl. So I'll go up to her and I say something like, hey, how are you doing? In a confident way, but a very unnatural way because I wasn't being authentic. I was being, loud. I was being confident. I guess you could say I was being confident, but I wasn't being natural. I wasn't being authentic. So she could immediately tell that this wasn't me. And I gave her the ick, as they would say back then, maybe now. And then I tried to practice it again in my German class. But that didn't go so well. I was sitting in German class and the teacher is making us read out these sentences in German, these paragraphs. And that already makes me extremely anxious because I'm terrible at German. Whenever I tried to speak it, especially in front of people, I would stutter my words and I wouldn't pronounce anything correctly because I'm a bit dyslexic, right? And what made it even worse, the previous people who were speaking before me, they pronounced everything perfectly, right? It was like they were fluent, it was amazing. But me, I couldn't even go 2 words without messing up. And so I calculate the exact paragraph I am going to read out by how many more people there are next to me and in front of me. I calculate which exact paragraph I'm gonna read out. And I already know I'm gonna mess up while reading this paragraph. And so I asked my friend beside me if he could help me reading out this paragraph because I know I'm gonna mess up. And he basically tells me something completely wrong. Like I'm not, like looking back, I'm not even sure if it was actually German. And so he tells me what to say, even though it's wrong. And so when it comes to me, I mess it up completely. I say something that I don't even know if it's German or not. And the teacher goes, Theo, why are you being stupid? And he just moves on to someone else. And that was so embarrassing for me, bro, because back then I wanted to be this confident guy who attracted loads of women, yeah? And who was confident, had brilliant communication skills. But that just proved I didn't have any of that. And I went to bed that night and just said to myself, I can't carry on like this. Because the reason why I was getting into all these embarrassing moments in my life was because I was just that unconfident. And it was around this time where I discovered self-improvement. And I read this book by Mark Manson, and he said, the 2 things you need to be a brilliant communicator, to be confident around people, was you needed to be yourself, and you just need to not give a fuck while you're doing it. And it was right then and there I knew why I wasn't confident or a good communicator because I didn't have any of those things. I gave a fuck what people thought about me because I needed that validation all the time of people because I obviously was not getting it off myself. And I wasn't being myself as well because, again, of validation. I thought, if I was myself, people wouldn't accept me, people wouldn't like me. When you observe confident people, this is what I've noticed. They are very natural in the way they speak. They are confident, but they are also themselves. When I look at unconfident people, right, sometimes they might be a bit loud to try and act confident, but they're not themselves. They are trying to be someone else, like I was trying to be someone else to get validation. It's fake confidence, basically. So whenever I'm talking to someone now, I try and be natural, but I also try and be confident as well. You need the 2 of those. And when I realized this, I changed, bro. I stopped acting for other people to get validation off them, and I started getting validation off myself instead by studying, by doing this, YouTube. And it helped a lot, man. It helped my authenticity, how natural I was. And people can tell, people are very attractive to this sort of thing because, everyone can tell when you're not being natural. You're not being your true self, especially girls, I've noticed. they can tell when you're not, like, they can tell when you're trying to act confident, but pretty much just nervous, yeah? Just like that girl could tell that I was nervous, even though I was trying to act confident. She could just tell how unnatural I was. But if you're really struggling with this, bro, that is the best sign you can have, because me and you don't get better. We don't get more confident and be a better communicator by just doing easy things. We need to struggle through things to actually become a different person, right? To become a better person. And listen, I'm not perfect at the moment. I can't walk into a room and be 100% natural, 100% confident, you know, but I'm working towards that, and I think everyone should. Because at the end of the day, bro, I know this is like very generic, but when you're 80 years old, you are not gonna give a fuck what other people thought about you. You're just gonna regret what you didn't do. This will be uncomfortable at first, but you just gotta get into those little habits of maybe being a bit natural with more people every day. And slowly but surely, you will build up to that confident, natural self. That's all I've got for you today, bro. See ya.